I titled today's mind map, The Higher Mind in Daily Life. The word that I would like to discuss today, which I believe will be very helpful on the journey to realizing your goals, your visions, skill cultivation, is the word autotelic, where intrinsic motivation is experienced to a deeper degree. A person is fully immersed in what they are doing for the sake of the activity itself, characterized by a merging of action and awareness. Action and awareness become one. The effect of surrendering to the vision realized. So over here we have our Robert Dill's logical levels. At the bottom we have environment, the environment in which we perform the activities. Behaviors. We can say we have optimal behaviors or behaviors we want to optimize further. Capabilities, skills. Maybe in the entrepreneurial space, sales skills, leadership skills, marketing skills. Values and beliefs. This is where we get into the mind and the subconscious mind. The self-image or identity. And we've got the vision. So another snowboarding season is starting. And many of you know, if you've been watching my videos for the last few years, that I took up snowboarding a few years ago. And my experiences on the slopes have inspired many discussions. As I've been working with the flow information, I realized that upon reflection, this is one skill that I've cultivated to a high degree of proficiency, easier, faster, without the stress, frustration, overwhelm, comparing myself with others, perfectionism, or emotional reactivity in relation to I'm not good enough and whatever else, or overthinking because of this word autotelic. It's the ability to be fully immersed in what you're doing to the point where you find joy, fulfillment, happiness in the activity. And what ends up happening is these things end up changing automatically. How you relate to the environment, as in snowboarding, let's say the snow conditions. As you let go of the overthinking and emotional reactivity, as we've been discussing all throughout our videos, we automatically allow ourselves to develop the skill or the capability. We allow the optimal behaviors to flow effortlessly. And we have fun and joy in the process as we further develop and cultivate this skill. Now, I remember when I started snowboarding, I looked at the slopes beside the green slope, and they had a black diamond. If you're not familiar with a black diamond, it's a more advanced slope, and this one was particularly steep. And I'm watching as snowboarders are flying down the hill. And I remember thinking to myself, I want to get good. I'm not sure, however, if I want to go down that fast. Now, what was interesting is after working with this information here and surrendering to the vision realized and allowing my body to express, body being an expression of mind, letting go of the overthinking, perfectionism, etc., I was able to progress quite quickly to the point where I was going as fast down the black diamonds as I saw those other snowboarders doing. And it feels completely natural. So I want to relate this over to Psycho-Cybernetics. There's the 5 steps here. Let's highlight them before we get into discussion and relate this over to autotelic. Number 1, your built-in success mechanism calibrates to a vision, conceived of as already in existence now or either in a potential form. So you have a vision. You say, I'm going to cultivate this skill. I'm going to build this business to a certain level of success. I'm going to achieve this fitness goal. And you commit to it. Now, when a person commits to it, number 2, The automatic mechanism is teleological. That is, operates to end results or goals. So he mentions in the book that we have an automatic success mechanism, and that when a person commits to a vision, they automatically go down the pathway to realizing this goal or their vision. And if for whatever the reason may be, there is unnecessary overthinking, emotional reactivity, convoluted behaviors, then what we want to do is bring ourselves back to a nice center. In the moment, release from that overthinking. Bring ourselves back into the heart and mind coherence in the moment. And when we do that, we proceed back with the activity. And our goal is to do the activity for the sake of doing the activity. And as a result of experiencing this autotelic, they find that they're enjoying the process and they're actually developing the skill even faster. See, I always mention this. I say, make it a priority to think, feel, and do what you really love to do. And I would even release from the condition to think, feel, and do what you love for any kind of result. Because I found that this is what was contributing to this autotelic experience. To release the condition to thinking, feeling, or doing whatever the activity is for that end result. Even though it's in contribution to the end result. As in, you go down the slopes again and again, you're going to continuously get better. And for many of us, if we release the condition, we're doing this to get better, we find that from this nuanced perspective, this is where we see the mental magic happen. As I mentioned, reality is the affirmation in mind. So if we go back here, your built-in success mechanism calibrates to a vision conceived of as already in existence, as in, I'm that person now. From there, number 2, the automatic mechanism is teleological. That is, it operates towards that vision. Number 3, do not be afraid to make mistakes or of temporary failures. All servo mechanisms achieve a goal by feedback and immediately correcting course. So it's okay to fall down. It's okay to make what we would label as mistakes. It's okay to try things. And what we're looking to do is get into this autotelic. So in snowboarding, I'm going to enjoy each run because I enjoy snowboarding. Like a child would practice riding a bike or snowboarding or anything. They enjoy the experience, and through the repetition of doing it again and again and again, they develop and achieve a higher level of proficiency, a lot of times easier and faster than the adults who may be overthinking. Number 4, skill learning of any kind is accomplished by trial and error. Mentally correcting aim after an error until a successive motion, movement, or performance has been achieved. And this is where we release from perfectionism. So one of the things I've learned on this journey is comparing myself to others and that heavy energy of trying to be perfect, that heaviness, is creating unnecessary complexity in my behaviors. It's a belief that I have, perhaps, that I'm not good enough. Whatever that belief is, I want to identify that belief and let it go. Because this could play out in such a mental rigidity that a person holds themselves back from allowing the fluidity of mind, which is apparent in an autotelic way of being. And we can call that the higher mind, to show up so that we can operate from that premise, recognizing this is all part of the journey to the destination. As he says, number 5, trust your creative mechanism to do its work and not jam it by becoming too concerned or too anxious as to whether it will work or not, or by attempting to force it by too much conscious effort. We must let it work rather than make it work, force it to work. We definitely can get to the destination by forcing ourselves and frustrating ourselves to the destination. And also, he had discussed this to an extensive detail in the book Flow, is that we can get to the destination a lot easier, enjoying the process, having a lot more fun, if we go about doing it in a way that is true and authentic to how we really are. I believe that learning, growing, evolving is our natural way of being. And what we want to do is reconnect back to this idea, which we were doing when we were children anyways. And perhaps a person might have forgotten it. I know on my journey I had forgotten it. And then I reconnected back to it and I further encourage it. And practically speaking, we show up each day. We commit to the tasks, the activities, the projects, or snowboarding sessions, or whatever it is, and we enjoy going through the journey. We release from comparison, perfectionism, and we allow the skill, the ideas, the hunches, the inspiration, the intuitive guidance to, a lot of times it feels like you've lost conscious control and the subconscious mind moves the body. And you'll notice this as you develop in any skill. For example, in communication, you'll notice that as you let go of the overthinking, the emotional reactivity, you communicate a lot more authentically. You'll notice this in sport. As we let go of the overthinking and the emotional reactivity, putting on a persona, heavily condemning ourselves, judging ourselves, and perfectionism, we actually perform better. And we actually allow ourselves to cultivate the skill, a lot more flow-based. And through the repetition of doing this, the self-image changes. So let's go back to the 5 points here. Number 1, your built-in success mechanism calibrates to a vision. So we have a vision, conceived of as already in existence now. I am that now. Reality is the affirmation in mind. Number 2, the automatic mechanism is teleological. So in the moment, we recognize if we're identified with certain thinking patterns, emotional patterns that are not true to how we are, and we release from them in the moment. And we surrender to the vision realized, the identity that's one with the vision. And these changes start to occur, a lot of times by themselves. You'll notice this. You'll discover true and accurate beliefs and perspectives, capabilities, behaviors, and environments changes, or, in this regard, going down the slopes, how we relate to the environment changes. What had once looked like when I saw other snowboarders going down the Black Diamond on that steep slope as something that I could never see myself doing, eventually became something that was fun and joyous to do. Number 3, do not be afraid of making mistakes or of temporary failures. All servo mechanisms achieve a goal by feedback. If we make what we label as a mistake, that's fine. We learn from the experience. See, when we accept ourselves, and when we recognize that this entire sequence here is part of the journey to getting to the destination, we accept that this is how it works. We enjoy the experience. We allow the theater to play out. You start to experience life more like an observer of these events. Yes, you're engaged deeply, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And in autotelic, it's a lot more lighthearted. It feels like you're observing a movie. It feels like a highly interactive movie, engaging the 5 senses, the emotions, the mental aspects, because as you're going down the slopes, perhaps there's an obstacle unexpectedly in the way. And you may be posed with a decision. Do you go left or right? As you remain more lighthearted and in autotelic, you'll notice that it's easier to formulate that decision. A lot of times you'll find that that decision happens automatic. So as he says, skill learning of any kind is accomplished by trial and error, so that's fine. I embrace the making mistakes, temporary failures, trial and error And I enjoy it because when we're in autotelic, a person is fully immersed in what they're doing for the sake of the activity itself. They enjoy the activity, and these aspects here, if they show up, they may show up, they may not show up, but if they show up, it's fine. You accept yourself. And then you're doing number 5 here, as he says, trust your creative mechanism to do its work and to not jam it up by becoming too concerned or too anxious whether it'll work or not, or by attempting to force it by too much conscious effort. We want to allow the subconscious mind to express. You must let it work. So we deeply engage meaningfully in the activity. Here, a person is fully immersed in what they're doing for the sake of the activity. Actions and awareness become one. This is something that we go through experientially. The way we practice this is on the next task, the next activity, the next skill that you're looking to cultivate, suggest to yourself, say, I will experience autotelic. And if for whatever the reason may be, you're overthinking in regards to the past or to the future, bring yourself back into the present. And what you'll notice is it'll start to happen in the moment. And what you'll also notice is you'll be so autotelic with what you're doing that if you encounter something that a person might label as mistakes, temporary failures, trial and error, you'll notice that you'll be lighthearted about it. Now, as you continue to do this, you'll notice that this becomes a natural way of being. The higher mind in daily life, this will be a natural way of being. That's because the mind has been purified as a result of this experience. I mentioned this all throughout our conversations. What had purified the mind to allow me to be more of who I am, and this continues each day to higher degrees of autotelic and authenticity, is to pick a goal, a vision, and stay committed from the place of flow all the way till the goal is realized. Because 2 things happen on the journey. Number 1 is you realize the goal. You get to the destination. Number 2 is you change, or more accurately put, you become more of who you truly are. And then on the next goal, the next vision, what you commit to next, you notice that it's easier, a lot more flow-based. That's because the inaccurate thinking patterns, emotional patterns, behavioral patterns are no longer part of that self-image, that identity. And what you're also noticing as you do this is new dreams, new visions that you want to see realized are brought to the surface. Because we have released so much inaccurate thinking patterns, emotional patterns of how we are not, there now is this room inside of us to receive visions, to integrate into different areas of our life, as in new goals, visions that we commit to and we realize. And we'll notice that when we commit to those goals, those visions, and we realize them, we're experiencing more autotelic. So in summary, to experience autotelic, recognize that you really can enjoy the activity and value the journey as much as you value the destination. Also, let go of perfectionism. Step more into nuance. Here's how I like to distinguish it. Perfectionism, heavy energy. What I do is not good enough. Creates unnecessary behavioral complexity, emotional turmoil, overthinking. Nuance is, I'm going to show up. I enjoy what I do. I'm going to creatively express. Next time I'm going to go on a more challenging slope. Or I'm going to do a different variation to the maneuver. Oh, I have a new idea, a new variation of the technique. Reflect upon this from the perspective of an artist who expresses a painting. After they paint, they get an idea for the next painting. They notice that they're able to paint more effectively. They're cultivating their skill to a higher degree. They're finding even more innovative ways of creatively expressing. And as they continue down this path, they experience even more of this autotelic. And they notice, upon reflection, There doesn't seem to be heaviness surrounding mistakes, temporary failures, trial and error. Rather, a genuine stimulation, looking at it more from the perspective of optimization data. All this is in harmony and contribution to further skill cultivation, to the next level of creative expression. So let's tie this all together. We have goals, visions, definite chief aims. The identity, the self-image, is in the process of transformation upon commitment, and we allow that transformation to occur. As a result, the values and beliefs, the capabilities, the behaviors, and the environments change. And they continue to change as we remain autotelic on the various tasks, projects, activities. That becomes the self-image, which I believe is how we truly and authentically are. As a result, we find that it's easier to allow the success mechanism or the servo mechanism, as articulated in Psycho-Cybernetics, to do its thing, or the subconscious mind to express the changes. So built-in success mechanism calibrates to a vision. We have a vision already in existence. The automatic mechanism is teleological. It operates, and it's oriented towards that vision. Everything happens automatically. And we let go of the heaviness, perfectionism, fear in regards to mistakes, temporary failures, trial, error. We recognize that if these things occur on the journey, that's fine. We will course correct. And then we further integrate number 5. We trust our creative mechanism to do its work. We allow the subconscious mind to express. We let it do its work. We let it work. And we experience this intrinsic motivation to a deeper degree. We find deep joy, presence, meaning, purpose in the day-to-day activities. We listen to our intuition. We experience the harmony of the inner and outer as one. Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical as one, congruence, heart and mind coherence. A person is fully immersed in what they're doing for the activity of itself. Yes, it's in harmony and contribution to the goal and the vision. However, real-time, experientially, as we are lightheartedly aligned with the vision, we have released the condition to think, feel, and do for the desired change. And we experientially understand the merging of actions and awareness as one, as we experience a flow-based, fun, harmonious journey to the destination, skill cultivation, etc. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's go ahead and conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. You can say, I recognize my ability now to be autotelic in the various activities, projects, skills that I cultivate in contribution to my goals and my vision, as I allow the automatic mechanism to operate as I observe reality rearranging behaviors, environments, skills to reflect the self-image, which is how I really am in my vision. Upon reflection of completing the tasks, the projects, I notice that I've brought forth a higher degree of creative expression, which is true with how I am and my vision, from a place of fun, flow, and autotelic. I recognize each day with the various tasks, projects, and activities that the action and awareness is one. Upon reflection, I realize to a deeper degree the power of surrendering to the vision realized. Upon recognition, I realize whatever my heart desires, my mind commits, experiencing the heart and mind coherence as I experience an autotelic journey to realizing the goals and visions and desires of my heart. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.